It has been a hot minute since I did a proper any kind of Q&A. So I thought it was time that we touch base and I answer all the stuff that you want to know and I usually avoid. And I know I'm always Miles that says, oh, look at me, I have perfect skin, and then don't know where it came from, just in honor of the video. As per usual, all of these questions came from the Instagram. If you're not following me over there, by the way, what are you doing with your life? I'm a lot more active over there, so even though I post a video on here once a week and engage with you guys, I'm usually posting on my stories every single day. So if you want to know what I'm up to, experience or witness all of my mad shenanigans, yeah. There are a few things which I know if I talk about, that this video is either going to get demonetized or taken down. But I think I'm going to answer them anyway, because I'm fed up. I mean, I've said this before, but I'm fed up of people that just don't speak their mind because they're afraid of the consequences. Even though they believe firmly in something, they kind of just hide behind a wall because it's safe. And I feel like I did that probably for the last, well, since the world went crazy. I feel like I've been a bit muted myself the last 6 to 9 months. But Miles is back, and Miles is here to speak and to tell you the truth and to probably lie about some of these answers, but you know how it is. Alright, let's just get into the questions, because whenever I film these videos they're like 4 hours long and it takes me 4 weeks to edit them. So look forward to this coming to a screen near you in a month's time. Yeah. Have you always been this spiritual, or did Jill get it into you? Love your bluntness. Well, do you know what, guys? Do you actually know what yet? The thing is, I was raised, I don't think I've ever spoken about this on the YouTube, but I was raised in a very religious family, and I was always very spiritual and had a lot of spiritual knowledge and some kind of higher consciousness, higher perspective from what I was taught when I was younger. It's funny because my spiritual friends, and I have a lot of them, in fact it's most of them, they always say, or used to say, that I was the most spiritual, non-spiritual person they'd ever met. And that completely makes sense, but that was me over the last couple of years. I definitely feel like in the last, definitely in the last 9 months, I've been going through a massive awakening. Not just with myself, but I think my eyes are fully open to the world for the first time. Definitely before me and Jill got together. I know this question is about, not kind of about, it's about Jill as well, so I'm going to answer that in a second. But before we got together, I was living a life that was very, I don't want to say muted, but I want to say, and I don't want to say arrogant either, but I want to say ignorant to what was going on around me in the world. And I was definitely living, surviving in this kind of bubble where to you guys it may have looked like just a bunch of fun, you know, always like vlogging and traveling and doing this and doing funny challenges and socializing a lot. But I was also living in, I wouldn't even call it denial, I was living in naivety. I think that's the word I'm going to go with, because I can't think of a better one right now. Let's just say I was very ignorant to what was going on in the world around me. I never really paid attention to anything. I never really paid attention to politics. And my eyes were very shut. I lived an existence that was very fun, but also very difficult. I've done a lot of deep searching in this last 6 to 9 months about who I really am and what I'm really here for. And I think everyone will go through that experience at some point in their life. For me, Jill was definitely the kickstart of that. Again, because before that I was living in some kind of bubble which I feel no one was able to penetrate. I wouldn't say my belief system has changed. I would just say it's been reignited, again, because I was brought up in a very spiritual family. I'm able to experience everything in a different way in life, which has come with a lot of challenges, because it's also facing certain things which I just was not ready to face and still running away from. But at the same time, it's opened my eyes up to just a whole thing that I didn't know existed. I've always known that life is not just about this 3D existence and that there's so much more to it, but I became ignorant to that for many years until then Jill came into my life and opened my heart, opened my mind again, and opened my eyes again. So yeah, I think I answered that pretty well. 10 points. What rule do you love breaking? All of them. What do I think about the fat acceptance movement? I think you all know what I think about this before I even need to burp. That's what I think of it. Next question. I think you all know what I think about this even before I speak about this. I do not agree with it. I do not agree with promoting obesity. I do agree with accepting and loving and supporting whatever size someone is. Even if someone is morbidly obese, it would not make me think of them any differently to someone that is not. I think it's just very irresponsible to put very, very obese people on the front of magazines, almost like it's being celebrated. I know it's an argument that's used a lot, but you wouldn't put an anorexic person, someone that's literally dying of anorexia, you wouldn't put them on the front of a magazine. And people that are being promoted like that these days, and being put in the spotlight just for inclusivity, they're not just people that are curvy. They're putting morbidly, like super morbidly, people that could drop dead at any moment from a heart attack, and definitely are on their way to type 2 diabetes. They're celebrating them. And they're people that aren't saying, oh, look at me, you know, I'm big and I'm on this journey of bettering my health and getting towards a more sustainable and realistic and healthy size for me. But just accept me where I'm at right now, you know, accept that I'm overweight, that I'm fat. I know a lot of people get triggered by the word fat, but that's the word that we're using apparently. You're basically accepting disease. You're basically promoting disease. Again, this is not about people being different shapes and sizes. Everyone is, right? Everyone is. Especially with women, a lot more are going to be very curvy, naturally have a lot more body fat, and that can be their healthy size, right? But to be 200, 300, 400 pounds overweight, and then to be celebrated like it's something that's okay, and other people that have eaten themselves to that, you know, your life's in danger size, for it to be celebrated just for the sake of inclusivity, absolutely not. Like, what the fuck are people thinking? If I'm being honest, I think I have misspoken about health at every size in the past and the meaning behind that and what it actually means. I'm not talking about that because that's a whole other thing. I'm talking about the celebration of morbidly obese people. Out of all the controversial things you've said on your channel, is there anything you regret? If I'm being honest, no, not at all. If there was, it would have been removed. But if there's anything that stands on my channel, then it means that I 100% stand by it. I am not here to be controversial. I'm not here to make people upset. I'm just here to speak my mind, speak my truth, and wake people up to certain things that are going on in the world, which people seem to be very ignorant with. And I guess this question is coming from a lot of the controversial stuff I've said about the vegan world and the vegan community and things that I've disagreed with in the past, which when I first said it was very controversial. Now it's just like common knowledge and everyone thinks that way. I'd like to thank myself for that. Another 10 points. To be honest, I know I posted a video recently which was about transgender individuals competing in sport against biological women, which I got a bit of backlash on that video. I mean, I know that 90% of you guys completely agreed with me because it's just facts. No matter what your ideology is or what kind of reality you've created in your head, it's just a fact that there is a biological difference regardless of certain changes that could be made. So I guess you could say that that video was controversial. I don't see it as controversial at all. I see it as just the facts. And again, because not enough people are speaking about the facts, I'm more than happy to do that. Are there things that I could have worded in a more politically correct way? Absolutely. But the underlying message of everything that I've said, 100% stand by. Not even 100%, 110%. One thing I made very clear in that video, and I'm gonna make it very clear again, is that I do support transgender people. I support any kind of human being on this earth. And I was not here to fight for or against trans rights. I was speaking about sport as an ex-professional athlete, because what is happening is absolute madness, and I just wish that, well, I hope that me speaking about that subject will encourage others to also speak up as well. And I know that it has, so I'm really trying to find something that I regret saying, but if I'm being honest, I don't regret anything I said. I mean, I took one down about my own mental health, but that was not a controversial subject. That was just because, and actually that was another one of the questions I got multiple times of why did I take that video down about my mental health and the substance abuse with prescription stuff that I was taking. And that wasn't because it was controversial. I'm clearly not afraid of speaking about controversial subjects, even though they shouldn't be controversial. It's just that people are allowed to be offended by everything and anything in 2021, which needs to stop. But yeah, I just felt like I misrepresented myself in that video and didn't do it justice, so that's the reason why the video was taken down. Favorite food right now? Ooh, considering it's not summer anymore, so I can't say watermelon. I also would usually say cantaloupe melon at this time of year, but if I'm being honest, they've been quite gushy recently, which I don't like gushy things, food-wise anyway. So I'd have to say my number one food right now has to be golden kiwis. They are just, I kid you not, I can eat sometimes 20 in a row. They are so sweet. I'm not talking kiwis, right? I'm not talking the green, sour, little motherfuckers. I'm talking about golden kiwis. They have a smooth level of sweetness that I can't even explain, and they are such a soothing fruit. So yeah, definitely golden kiwis. The best advice you could give. I mean, that's a very general question because it's not aimed at one area, but I think, and I've said this before, but the best advice I can and would give anyone, especially in 2021 with just all of the madness in the world, is just stay true to yourself. Don't believe everything that you read or come across on social media or the news. I honestly think after experiencing this last year, I will never believe anything I ever read on the news ever again. Not that I ever watched the news in the first place, but just realizing how fake things are and the way that they're presented is just, and the way that some stuff is shared but then other stuff is hushed, even though equally are just both as important, because I feel like with everything you need to see both sides of every story. I know I'm going on a massive tangent now, but basically the best advice I would give anyone is just stay true to yourself, and if you believe in something, speak the fuck up. I think the world is in such a mess because not enough people are doing that. So, how to stay positive even though it feels like the world is falling apart. First of all, the world's not falling apart. There's just a lot of madness that we are experiencing right now, and I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what's going on right now. That, you know, the fact that a lot of people, I'm not gonna say the word because I really can't be fucked for there something stupid to be written underneath this video about facts about a certain thing, which rhymes with my middle name, and my middle name is Cyrus, so you know what I mean. I can't believe that most of the world actually still seem to believe that this is about a Cyrus and protecting people, because it's not. I'm not convinced by the official narrative whatsoever, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I feel like I'm a very grounded and level-headed person with that. Like, I'm not someone that just buys into things that I read or that I'm told on the internet. I'm a very I'm a very one-minded person that just believes what I believe, and my mind cannot be swayed. And if you have an opinion or an experience that goes against the official narrative, you know, the crap that you see on the news, then it's completely hushed or you're silenced. And that makes me think, there's never really been a time in history when both sides of the story couldn't be spoken about, you know? When was the last time in history that freedom of speech was taken away and that people were bribed and controlled and blackmailed into doing and getting something? The thing is, I don't want to be labeled as I can't even say the word. I don't want to be labeled as anti-V, because I'm not. If I had children right now, if me and Jill had kids, I wouldn't say, oh, I wouldn't vaccinate them, because I'm not even anti-V. I'm getting so many questions on Instagram at the moment saying, can you explain why you're anti-V? I'm not. I've never said I was. If you can find anything on Instagram or YouTube where I've said that, then show me. I'll give you £1 million, because I don't have £1 million, but I also never said that, so there you go. And I'm also not telling anyone what to do, which is why I don't talk about it. But it has got to the point where whether you decide to make one decision or the other, it's created massive division in the world. I think the biggest thing you can do to empower yourself during this time when the world is falling apart is just to think, what can I do as an individual? What can I do with my actions? What do I really believe in? Not what am I forced to be doing, not what am I being told I can't do without this or without that, but what do I really believe in? Do you supplement with zinc? Is this important for vegans? Well, Obviously, it's important for vegans to get adequate zinc, and great sources are like pumpkin and sunflower seeds. My brain's a bit dead right now, but I'll put a list on the screen of zinc-rich foods, which you probably already know. I don't isolate supplement with zinc. I take the multi-nutrient from Vivo Life, which has zinc in it, and which will be linked down below. It's always linked down below in my videos, the supplements that I take. But even if I wasn't taking that, I would say, well, I know that my zinc levels are very adequate because of all of the nuts, seeds, greens, other whole foods that I eat that are rich in zinc. I really can't believe that my mind's gone blank about foods that are rich in zinc, apart from pumpkin and sunflower seeds right now. And I'm not even high. Did you see the trans MMA fighter that almost killed a woman, or beat up a woman really badly? I did, and the ironic thing is that happened immediately after I made that video on sport and transgender athletes. And I guess it just proved my point. Not that I needed to prove my point, because it's very obvious what I'm speaking about, and very fair as well. I think it's very worrying that we have to actually get to this point where it's getting dangerous to realize, oh, actually, there's a massive physical difference here. And once again, before anyone says anything, I support transgender people. I have transgender friends. I love them more than anything, because I understand the difficulties that they've experienced, like growing up and not feeling like they're in the right body, all of that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not an expert on it, which is why I don't talk about it. So many people in that community are so quick to throw around the word phobic, which is really sad. You know, it was even thrown at me, and I think it just takes away the power of using that word when someone actually is phobic. You know, it's a bit like crying wolf. Like, if you just keep crying wolf when there's actually a wolf, or a woof, as I guess you say in the States, no one's going to believe you when there actually is one. So the more you throw around the word phobic to people that aren't actually phobic, the more it takes away the power of when you're actually speaking out against someone that is, and is a bad person or a danger to society. So I would suggest that people are careful with their words and actually use their ears to listen as well. How many calories do you consume a day? Love your lifestyle. Number 1, I don't know. Number 2, I don't know. Do you know what, actually? This is a segue into a different question that I got, which I'm going to address in a second. I don't count calories, and I don't care. I do know that whenever I've plugged it into Chronometer, it's always about 3,500. Usually, sometimes more. Don't forget I'm active. But the thing is as well, don't forget I just broke my foot. And was very inactive for weeks. I mean, for the first couple of weeks, I was just laying in bed with my foot up because I couldn't do anything else. And still eating a lot. A lot of people assume that I stay very lean because even though I consume a lot of food, I'm just constantly exercising, and that's just not true. And this gives me another chance to speak about, I did speak about this in my last video, but very briefly. I'm not sure if you saw it. I think it was a what I eat in a day, like comfort food edition. Do you know what? I've just realized that I look like, is it Lucifer Malfoy? Yeah, I look like him. Yeah, just gonna say it one more time. Guys, I know I have been through a big physical transformation in the last year. That is not because anything in my lifestyle changed. I'm not relapsing on drugs. I've done that in the past. That's not happening now. I'm not under eating. I'm consuming more than ever. The only thing that changed, and I'll say it again, is that I came off a medication that I was on for about 8 years that was making me retain huge amounts of water and additional body fat, which was abnormal for me. I'll put a side-by-side image of what my face was like. My face used to be a lot more round, and people would just assume people just assumed that was the real me. But it wasn't. This is the real me. I've always had a very sharp face. I've always been naturally very lean, even in times when I'm not working out that much. That's just my natural physique. That's my metabolism. So for everyone that's saying, oh, you know, when are you gonna put weight back on? I'm not. Like, this is the real me. Even if I tried to put weight back on right now, like, I'd have to make a conscious effort. It was just inevitable that when you come off a medication that absolutely disrupts all of your hormones, that when you come off it, you're gonna physically change. So that's what happened to me. This is the real me. So yeah, get used to it. I mean, this is not the real me because I have bleached hair. The real me has black hair. But you know what I mean. What does spirituality mean to me? To me, it means looking deeper, not just having your eyes open to the world, but also looking deeper within and understanding that this world, this existence is not just 3D. There is so much more that we can't even access yet. Spirituality to me is having a belief that this world, this existence, this human existence is just a progression of our soul, and it is just a tiny part of our being. And it really, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that. They think life and planet Earth, like this is it. They think we're born here, we die here, it ends here. And it doesn't. Spirituality to me means seeing way beyond that. Damn, I really am speaking like a spiritual person right now. What the fuck happened to me? How did you know that Jill was the one? This is gonna be like the cheesiest answer that you've ever heard come out of my mouth, or that you've probably ever heard in your life, or on YouTube, or just in your general existence thus far in this world. I knew she was the one before we even met. And I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Like, the connection was so strong. And I've never experienced someone seeing straight into my soul more than I even could. One thing in life about me, I'll just tell you this right now, is that I'm very, very misunderstood by a lot of people, especially by males. I know sometimes I can come across cocky or arrogant, but it was just 111 again on the screen. Guys, I can't deal. I know I can come across quite cocky or arrogant, and I have like an angry looking face, apparently. Jill tells me I do all the time. But I'm very misunderstood by a lot of people in general until they actually get to know me quite intimately. And then they realize that I'm actually a very soft and gentle and affectionate person that really just has a lot of love for everyone and everything in this world, in nature, I am very misunderstood. And the fact that I've never been fully seen by anyone before. She understands me better than I understand myself. And I think that's why I've learned so much about myself in this last year of living together, which has just been, I'm not gonna lie, it's come with a lot of challenges. Don't forget, we have spent the majority of our existence together and our relationship in lockdown, and also with me having a broken foot and relying on her for certain things. Like, we've been through a lot of challenges, trust me. But when you know, you just know. Why are you so against political correctness? I'm not against political correctness. I'm just against bullshit. It doesn't matter whether it's officially politically correct. If I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. So it depends on the subject. I'm not against being politically correct in general. There are just certain things which are just expected to be accepted and understood by everyone, and everyone in the world does not share the same opinion. Anyways, guys, as always, I'm sending you infinite love. Leave all your comments and questions down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Laters.